Greetings and thank you for tuning in to My Journey with Paula G. We'd like to thank our underwriters, the Good Actor Studio of Marietta, Georgia, my coffee shop at East Lake, Pastor's Time International Bible College, Augusta, Georgia, with Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Creekside Dental Incorporated of Douglasville, Georgia, Lusu Designs with Brandon Sampson of Maryland, Survival Radio Network and Clicks Photography by Clark Garrison, and Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Radio Network with Journey Was Live worldwide. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and tune in again. Embrace the journey with Paula G.
It's your boy David Ben. Hey yo, Shay. It's time to go beyond the fence. Life is so good. It's so good. Yeah. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drives the bones, you know. Yeah.
It's about 8 in the morning, I'm just waking up. Got the Folgers on brew, about to fill my cup. While I'm looking out the window, let the sun come up. I'm good. I'm about to get my day started. Off to work, about to make them dollars. If only you knew what I've been through, you would smile and say that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I thank God I'm good.
Hey, Pig.
I thank God I'm good.
Come on in. I'm on my way.
I thank God I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You are magnificent, great. Your feeling is hate, but we're ignorant grace. So intimate place, your heart of innocence make a life different break. The soul sin and the sinning, could the enemy hate? You are the sun, stars, and the moon. You are the beam of light when it's dark in the room. When I depart from the womb, you're the air that I breathe. Always there when I need you, preparing for peace. You're so good.
I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm so good, so good, so good, so good. Lord, you've been so good to me. Yes, you have. I'm telling you, Lord, you've been so good to me. Good. Lord, you've been so good, so good to me. Lord, you've been so good to me. You've been better than I've been to myself, better than anybody else. So good, so good, better than I've been to myself, better than anybody else. So good
Shay Samuels,
to
beyond the
me.
fence.
Welcome to My Journey with Paula G, where we juggle this journey called life while walking in the gifts and talents that God has given us. Thank you all so much for joining us. And if this is your first time, welcome to my journey. And to my returning viewers, thank you for being with us once again, because you know I always say time is precious. It is the one thing that you cannot get back. So for you to think it not robbery to spend a bit of your time with us is truly, truly appreciated. So we thank you so very much. And our underwriters of My Journey with Paula G, without you, we could not do what it is that we do. So we thank you all so very much for joining us. Well, you know, we always start each show with a jewel from the journey. And you always ask me, what is a jewel on the journey? A jewel on the journey is an individual who's been part of this journey, who has supported us. They've come to our events and they've just really poured into this journey. So each time that we have a live event, I have the individuals to fill out a little index card, such as this one right here. And I ask them to write their favorite quote, scripture, word of encouragement, something of that nature. So our jewel today is one of my dear friends. She's a fellow radio host of the D Hill Show. This comes from the one and only phenomenal D Hill. And she says to think bigger than that box that they told you to think outside of. Think bigger than the box that they told you to think outside of. That's a drop the mic moment. Thank you for that quote, D Hill, my good friend of the D Hill Show. Well, I have a guest today, and I'm so excited to have this guest. He is one of the founders of the multi-platinum selling group and the most sampled group of all time. He's a U.S. ambassador of music and the arts. He's celebrating, I believe, 40 years of celebration and 50 plus years in the business. He is legendary. He is phenomenal. He is Robert Kool Bell. How are you today, my brother? I'm excited to have you with us.
I'm doing wonderful, Paula. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. I woke up this morning. You're looking good. You're looking good for 50 plus years in the business. You're looking good, my brother.
Well, I'm hanging in there. Sometimes I joke and say as an old man. I just turned 70 about 3-4 weeks ago.
Happy birthday to you. That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. Well, let's start with, we've got so much to talk about, and I'm determined to get it all in today. Share with us a little bit about 40 years of celebration.
Yes, Celebration came out in 1980. It was after, of course, Ladies' Night. And Ladies' Night, we won 2 American Music Awards out in LA for the song Ladies' Night. And the tag of Ladies' Night was This Is Your Night Tonight, Come On, Let's All Celebrate. So my brother said, that's another song. So when we got back to Jersey, he came up with this idea in the music, and it had the old down south grandma's rocking chair vibe to it, you know.
Right.
And that became Celebration with the Yahoo, and you know, it was a good feeling vibe. And then we didn't know that Celebration was going to be bigger than Ladies' Night at the time.
Yes.
But Celebration, you know, it's over 40 years, and it's like it was just recorded yesterday. As you know, it's been played for Super Bowls and bar mitzvahs. It even was played in on the space station.
Yes.
The astronauts got up in the morning and they're floating around on the space station. They was playing Celebration. So this is a 40-year celebration, and it was even played when Biden accepted the nomination for the presidency. They played Celebration.
Yeah, and you know, it's just it also just speaks to, you know, so many years of being in a business that you and your group members and the family members are so passionate about, you know, the music. You are an ambassador, a U.S. ambassador of music for the arts. Share with us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
Well, that came about. We were doing some TV shows around the. We had a song called "Sexy," and another song was called that my son wrote called "Royalty." and they asked us to be a part of that, and we said sure, because music is our message. Music is what we're all about, and so that's how that came about, and we're supporting that amongst many other things.
And you mentioned royalty, and I understand that you're in collaboration with your son, Hakeem Bell, in regard to that. So share with us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, Royalty was a song that he wrote about his mother, my wife, who passed a couple of years ago. And women in general, him and Walter Anderson, who's another young member of Kool gang. And his thing that women are royalty. They support us. So we must protect that, And so he said, that's how he came out with the song called Royalty, his mother and ladies in general. Although we wrote the song called Ladies Nights for all the ladies around the world.
Yes. Oh, that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful way to honor women and as well as his mother. Share with us a little bit about her and her legacy.
Well, like she said, royalty. I mean, she was the pillar behind me to keep me going, And
so is that where that phrase comes from? Is that where that phrase comes from? Behind every good man is a good woman.
Absolutely. Because we can be a little hard-headed, and I don't know. I don't trust that one. Well, hey, baby, it's a good deal. I don't know. Right. I'm not feeling that.
that discerning voice, right?
Oh yeah, but she came up with the Kool Kids Foundation, and she wanted to do something for the kids in school, because they had taken music out in schools, and I told her I would work with her on this was before she passed, to put something together for that. I did a tour several years ago called "It's Cool to Stay in School," and it was backed by Coca-Cola, and we did 34 cities. And one of the cities that we went into, Oklahoma, there was a group of guys that came up to us because we would meet them, the kids or the students, I should say, before the concert. And they said, well, we're doing good in school, and we're not playing hooky from school. Right. He said, but we like to sing something for you. And they did 3 a cappella songs. And I said, wow. So my cousin and my other cousins said, hey, let's send them guys to New York. That group became Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up. Came from the school approach. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of other students and kids out there that want to, try to make it. My wife had another company called Dream Stars, when we're dreaming and trying to be successful. Yes. And between that and, beat me up on the head about my deals, she was fine.
So behind every good man.
Absolutely.
Well, I know her spirit lives on, not only in your son, but in yourself as well as you move forward and continue, to do what it is that, you all built together and some of those dreams and passions and so forth that she had as well. So that it's just beautiful to hear you, to talk about her and, her vision as well, because, it's our youth, we always talk about our youth. And, like you mentioned before, them taking the music and so forth out of the schools. And, our youth, there's so many things that our youth are in need of today, especially during this time period that we're in right now. So, that's wonderful to be able to pour into them, as you have. It's wonderful to be able to pour into them. How have you seen, because you've been in this business a minute, how have you seen the music transition? How have you seen the music change, and maybe even the standards, if you will, in regard to music and the business?
Well, I mean, it has changed a lot. Of course, we're into the social media and streaming, and that's the future, and that's today. I'm old school, back in the day of the vinyl and cassettes.
Yes.
you know, CDs,
Uh-huh.
you know, and when you had to kind of like stay on your craft back in the 70s,
Yes.
groups like Earth, Wind and Fire, or the Commodores, or
Mm-hmm.
George Clinton with the P-Funk mob, or landing mother ships on top of the stage. It was
Mm-hmm.
very competitive.
Right, right,
You don't see that today on that level. Now you
right.
have some groups that, you know, do big productions, but
Mm-hmm.
are they actually playing, performing
Right.
it? You know,
And the music, because I mean, it was, you're talking live music, live instruments,
right?
the artist actually playing that, no disrespect to the artists of today. It's not what I'm saying, but just the live performances, the presentation on this on the stage, the choreography, the
Right.
dress, all of that came together. And like you said, back in the day, uh, when we listened to music, and I've got right here for the young people, this is called a 45. I'm gonna take this out for the young folks. This is
Oh yeah,
right there. That's called a 45 right there.
yeah. That's
That's called
that's that's vinyl.
that's that's vinyl, right? I remember the first time my daughter saw an album, she said, "Mom, they made CDs that big back in the day." Like, no, that's 45, y'all.
Yeah,
Yes, but it was just a different era of preparing to present and preparing to perform. And I think today, with so many electronic and tools and technology, it has caused the business to shift a bit, and perhaps the creativity. Would you say?
yeah. I would say that. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
because that's like we one of the most sampled bands. You know,
Yes.
James Brown said no. Kool and the Gang #2. I'm #1 most sampled. So we said, well, we don't have to argue with you, Godfather.
Right.
We listened to you, and we was growing up in the '60s. You know,
Yes.
because we started off as the Jazzy Acts, and then the name was changed to the Soul Town Band.
Hmm.
And the Soul Town Band was trying to be like Motown. They had the Soul Town Review, and we were
Yes.
the Soul Town Band. So we would have to learn. Uh, we were backing up about 10 acts per show. So
Hmm.
we had to learn all these songs, and a lot of them was singing Motown hits. You know,
Yes.
back during that time. And James Brown, definitely, we had a guy that he was like a little James Brown, so we had to learn cold sweat and all that, you know,
all the moves and
all
so
the
forth.
moves and everything. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, and it really took a lot of stamina too, because like you said, having to learn all of those songs,
Yeah.
that's huge when you think about it. Having to, and performing night after night, backing up all of those different groups, and really having to, learn the music and the lyrics and all of that. It was, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It
And
was a
the
lot.
recording was different too, because when we
Yes.
started to do our own albums,
Hmm.
backing up these other groups, we only had 8 tracks. So
Yeah.
you had to rehearse the song and you had to
Yes.
play it all the way through.
All the
If
way
one
through.
guy made a mistake, man, we got to do it all over again.
All over it.
There wasn't no editing, there wasn't no slicing the tape. We had to go back
Right.
and play that song again.
Right. Because that you had to play that 8 track all the way through. Couldn't
Nobody could make a
rewind.
mistake. Yeah, so there was a
No
lot of
on demand.
so a lot of pre-rehearsing.
Yeah.
So when you got into the studio, you knew the song.
You knew the song. You knew the song. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Now you taking us back now.
Yeah,
You really take
way back.
yes. And it just really speaks to just the oh gosh, how can I put it? The love that went into, and the heart and the soul that went into doing what it is that not only yourself did, but all of the artists of that time. So
Yes. Hmm.
for you to still be in the business and still working and still thriving, it speaks to the longevity, and I think too that it speaks to the importance of really having the music in your soul, in your spirit, just in your being, because as times change, you also have to evolve. And when you have that creativity, you have that gift, you're able to evolve with it and stay relevant and enjoy decades of a career in what you love.
Well, that's a blessing within itself.
Yeah.
I mean, because we started in the 60s, but Kool Gang, we named ourselves Kool Gang in 1968, came out our first record in
Yeah.
1969.
Mm-hmm.
So we survived the first decade, first 10 years, through the 70s.
Yes.
And then we had hits like Jungle Boogie, Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
Swingin', Funky Stuff, Summer Madness, Open Sesame.
Yes.
But then things changed again. They were burning records and anti-dance, anti-disco, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. So you had to
decided. So
kind of make that transition as well.
Yeah, we had to get a lead singer.
Yeah.
What happened was we was touring out with the Jackson 5.
Mm-hmm.
And a gentleman by the name of Dick Griffey, who had sold our records, said, "Man, you guys are doing great, but I think you need a lead singer."
Mm-hmm.
So we said, "Okay. Yeah, some our music, yeah, we can see a lead singer on that." And that's when we came up with Ladies Night.
Yeah.
And James J.T. Tiller, who joined the band, my wife and I was hanging out in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And on the weekends, they had that Regine, then Studio 54, a Ladies Night.
Oh,
said,
yes.
That's a great idea. I went back to the guys. I said, "Hey, man, I got a great 2 songs. Because I used to hang out a lot. One is called Hanging Out.
Hanging Out.
The other is called Ladies Night." I said, "Wow, that's great for our first record." And then, hey, we recorded Ladies Night. And I don't know who remember Frankie Crocker, the rocker, WBLS.
Oh, yes. WBLS in New York, yes.
Frankie Crocker broke that record in New York, and the rest is history. From that, like I said earlier, came Celebration and everything else.
Yeah. And, the other thing, too, are the lyrics during that era. The lyrics told the story. The lyrics really told the story. And that, that's also just a beautiful thing about, about that time period and that season. Tell us a bit about the KATG single, Pursuit of Happiness.
Well, back in the mid-'70s, we came up with a song called Who's Gonna Take the Weight? And it was talking about what was going on at that time. Mm-hmm. The world today is in a desperate situation. So much destruction and so much disorganization that one day somebody got to be responsible for that.
Yes.
Okay, that was Who's Gonna Take the Weight. My brother, that was one of the last songs that he wrote before he passed. And the song is dealing with some of it's from the actual Constitution for the pursuit of happiness, world peace, and what's going on right now. And I think now Biden used a little bit of that when he accepted the nomination. He spoke for the pursuit of happiness, not knowing that my brother wrote the song.
Had already
that was dealing with for the pursuit of happiness. Yes. So we'll hope to get that out in the next couple of weeks, and of course, world peace.
World peace.
Now, I mean, right now with the COVID-19 and the pandemic, was so much going on, in terms of, different nations and problems with Korea, Iran, Iraq, etc. And here comes now the coronavirus. I call it the corona blues.
Yeah,
just taking everybody. I don't care what country you're from. You can't run high from that.
It's a world. Yeah, you can't run. You can't run from it. It's worldwide, and it's as they say, we're all in this together. So we all have to come together and bond and unite. And like you said, the peace and I just pray for peace and love and resolution, because we all.
And another thing I have to add this, Paula, it shows us that God is most powerful.
Yes.
All you powerful nations, God is the power.
He is the power.
He can destroy you right now.
Yes.
Look what's happening.
Yes. He is speaking. He is definitely speaking loud and clear. And I just pray the masses are listening. A lot of us are listening, but I pray that the masses are listening. Our time always goes so quickly. I have so much enjoyed this conversation. We could have gone for a whole nother 30 minutes or so, but I appreciate you so much. Perhaps we can have you back on the show. Before we go, share with the audience how they can connect with you, your social media, website.
Okay, well, koolgang.com.
Kool with a K for the young people.
Yeah, and then my Instagram, my son Hakeem changed it around. It's Mr. Robert Kool. Somebody had a Robert Kool, was a fake one. We didn't talk about it, but I do have I think I can mention, I do have a champagne called Kool, champagne.com. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. And we also want to give a shout out to your cameraman today, Mr. Tony. We thank him so much as well. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, legendary Robert Kool. What can I say? We thank you all so much for joining us. We thank our underwriters, because without our underwriters, this would not be possible. I appreciate each and every one of you joining us. And remember, the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? Is God a part of that conversation? And are you listening to his still small voice? Until next time, embrace the journey.
Thank you.
It's your boy David Ben. Hey yo, Shay. It's time to go beyond the fence. Life is so good. It's so good. Yeah. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drives the bones, you know. Yeah.
It's about 8 in the morning, I'm just waking up. Got the Folgers on brew, about to fill my cup. While I'm looking out the window, let the sun come up. I'm good. I'm good. About to get my day started. Off to work, about to make them dollars. If only you knew what I've been through, you would smile and say that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. God, I'm good.
Hey, Pig.
I thank God I'm good.
Come on in. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
I thank God I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You are magnificent, great. Your feeling is hate, but we're ignorant grace. So intimate place, your heart of innocence make a life different break. This whole sin and the sinning. Could the enemy hate? You are the sun, stars, and the moon. You are the beam of light when it's dark in the room. When I depart from the womb, you're the air that I breathe. Always there when I need you. Preparing for peace. You're so good.
I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. And my family's good, my health is good. I thank God that I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good. I got food on the table, I know that he's able. Thank God I'm good. I got a good job, I'm good. And my bills are paid, I'm good.